All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Positive Success Show. I have an amazing, energetic, awesome, positive entrepreneur on the show today. Her name is Kate Moir. She's an author. She's a podcaster. She hosts the podcast MomBoss Mentor. She is just a powerhouse of energy, and I just can't wait to introduce her to you. Kate, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's so nice to be here. It's evening where I am. I love that we're on different sides of the globe and still able to connect. So thank you to technology.
So awesome. So awesome to have you here, Kate. I'd love to know how you transitioned to becoming an entrepreneur. Prior to getting on the show, we chatted about having careers and then moving out of those careers and moving into something that we truly love. It's the same. Same with me. But can you share with the audience how you transitioned to entrepreneurship?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so mine was not one moment. It was like listening to signs that I needed to do something different. So for me, it really happened when my daughter was born and I saw my husband go out and have fun all the time. Golf, baseball, hockey, and I was sitting in that chair nursing my baby every single night, doing the dishes, doing the bath time routine. And I just decided one day two things. I wanted to have fun guilt free. So I didn't want to feel guilty for going out and spending money because, we work hard for our money, but I didn't want to take away from the family budget. I felt that mom guilt. And two, I wanted him to know what it was like to do bath time routine before we had our second child. It was purely selfish reasons, but I fell in love with a product. So I did enter into entrepreneurship through a direct sales company. I had fun. I took my baby to parties. We had a great time. I ate all the cheese dip in the world. I swear I couldn't do without some cheese dip for a while. But it was enough to say it's okay. The world will not fall apart. Everybody will be fine. You don't have to be on all the time. It's okay to do something just for you. And so that morphed like most businesses morph and evolved into, being the top 1% of that company, working two full-time jobs with two kids under two. And there was this one day, October, where I thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And I called my husband and said, I think I'm having a heart attack. I called my boss. I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. I'm not going to make the meeting. I had a master's degree like you, a graduate degree. I was a city planner, and I just had to stop. And that was the moment where, we had to reevaluate. We had to say, okay, like this is obviously not good when you are having a panic attack, because that's what it turned out to be. And I had to make a decision. So my birthday, my husband said, what do you want to have for your birthday? And I said, I would love to go to the accountant and see if we have saved up enough money so I can quit my job. That's what we did. That's how we celebrated my birthday. He took us out for sushi afterwards, the accountant, because I had saved enough money. Because to me, security and financial is very important. Being able to be self-sufficient is very important. And to have a sense of purpose is very important to me. So for me, that was my transition. And then the catalyst, the moment, because some people need like to be knocked over the head to be able to quit their job and to become their own boss. I'm one of those people. So the panic attack was not enough. The accountant saying yes was not enough. My boss yelling at me was the moment. And the look on her face is the reason I will never go back, because they were just surprised that you can treat somebody that way, and somebody had the capacity, that they built up a backup plan, that I could quit my job, because most people are not there. And so that's what I'm all about, is helping people build their backup plans so they have choice. They have freedom and flexibility to say, I choose me, I choose joy, I choose what fills me. I don't need this anymore.
Oh, mic drop.
I dropped when I told her I quit.
Virtual mic drop. No, your story, Kate, it really is like, so it's so inspiring because, you follow this formula for success, what we think is the formula. you go to school, you get an undergrad degree, you get a graduate degree, and then you get into the working world. And once you get into the working world, oh, let's throw in motherhood in there. It just completely shifts the game. Like when you were talking, like that totally happened to me too. Except like I was in a situation where my spouse was working abroad and I was with twin toddlers from age 1 to 2. And then I was trying to be an entrepreneur, but I had no idea what I was doing at the time. And it really opened my eyes to like, oh, this can be an opportunity to like just do new things and choose me, like how you're saying, choose joy. So inspirational. All the moms listening that want to be entrepreneurs, it's totally possible. And hey, you could like, connect with Kate and I. It really is a world community of women coming online and making these connections and building their own businesses. And it really is this huge trend. Awesome. Kate, so can you teach on a topic that is important to entrepreneurship or even mom entrepreneurship? I think those two in combination, those are already like 2 full-time jobs. And I feel like I'm always juggling and trying to create balance in that way. But any tips, any like three things that you can share with us?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So first I'll do the shameless plug for the book, 22 Women Entrepreneurs and all history making couples. You can get it on Amazon around the world. Awesome. But in there, I share 3 tips, and it really is relevant whether you're a mom or you're a person working full-time creating your backup plan, or you're a guy. Like, it doesn't matter. Let's be honest. So number 1 is mindset. If you don't believe you can't, you won't. Right? Like dead serious. But if you have that inkling, like you said, a little inkling inside or a little fire burning, you want to go for it, because that could be the thing. Like, you just don't know. Give it a little flavor for a season, see if it sizzles, right? Like, see where it goes. But mindset is believing that like you have something like a superpower or a skill that people want help with. So I love to say, like, mindset is, we all have amazing talents. Is deciding, what do people often ask you about? Sharing that talent is probably a good place to start, right? If you love something, you love a product, share the product, because you probably have experience and advice on how to use it or why they need it. So it doesn't matter, product or service, doesn't really matter what your business is, but believing that you can and that you have something of value and serving it to others in a place of service, not sale, is the number 1 mindset. Awesome. The number 2 thing is having goals. Okay. So I love a book I don't make money off of, and I wish I did, because I probably sold them 1 million copies, but The 12-Week Year. And it doesn't matter if you're a business or if you're using it for your health or you're using it for your finances, your relationship. I have applied that book so many different directions. Because when you think about the 90-day run, like my business, they're all about the 90-day, it's 12 weeks. Like, it's about a season and attacking your goals with purpose. And so in my book, I share how to break down your goals so that you have 3 layers. So you're satisfied if you hit your minimum, and you're feeling pretty good if you hit your average, and you're feeling on top of the world if you beat your best, right? And so I'll look at my goals in front of me right now, and it's almost the end of the month, and sales, like, it's so cool to look at that board and be like, boom, I hit that. Or, okay, like, I'm still feeling pretty good because I hit, at least the lower end of one. Like, it doesn't matter, but it's having that focus so that it's a non-negotiable. This is what I'm going to do. And being able to celebrate hitting non-negotiable, because in business, as your own self, especially, nobody else is going to give you an award. So you kind of have to give yourself a pat on the back. And then the last thing, or last tip for being a boss, is schedule. And I think this is really where it comes into play for moms, especially. I truly believe that the pockets of your day is your secret, like, gold mine. Okay. So if you wake up in the morning and you sit and drink your coffee and watch the news, like, could you do something more productive or income producing than consuming material? Like, unless your job is like a news reporter, could you be producing content instead of consuming content? So think about your day and track your day this week, even, for example. Track your day. all the time. If you look on your phone right now,
Yeah.
how many hours you spend on social media? If you do not have a business and you're on that phone more than an hour on social media, let's talk, because you could be monetizing that, right? So that's the thing, is like maximizing the pocket. So my best hours when I had a full-time job building a side gig was my coffee break. Nobody could take my coffee break from me. It was 15 minutes twice a day. That's 30 minutes. I could build my business every single day, 5 days a week. Most people drink coffee and consume. I was working. Now it's the 15 minutes at the bus stop, waiting for the kids to get off the bus, waiting for their dance lesson to stop, waiting for rugby to start, waiting for the water to boil, waiting for coffee. Like all throughout your day, you have 5, 10, 15-minute pockets that if you do something, just one thing, each of those pockets, like now you've chipped off 5 or 10 things of your list. In just the moments that you waste, really. So those are my top 3 tips. Mindset. Oh
my gosh. So
goal set, time.
I'm literally getting goosebumps. Like it's so good, because it's like, you're right. Those moments in between that you just waste and you don't even realize you're wasting it. But if you're intentional about using that time, like you were saying, 32 15-minute coffee breaks a day. Like I never heard anyone say it in that way. It's like, oh yeah, 2.5 hours a week. Like you got, that's a lot of time to be focusing on building your business or building your dream or building something that's really important to you. That is amazing. So my next question was like, oh, how does someone start building up, start their backup plan? But if there's anything else you can add to that besides using the pockets of time that you have.
Yeah. Really, like sometimes things will be thrown at your way.
Yeah.
And I guess the key is be open-minded, like be open to opportunities, because people say, oh no, like I almost said no to the book. Like I said no to it 3 times. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, I don't know enough. I'm not good enough, right? Like you kind of diminish your skill set. But when I started to write it, it's like, you know what? No, like these are things that I wish I knew at the beginning, or I wish that somebody had told me. And so having somebody believe in you or ask you and say, hey, have you ever thought of, or if I send you this, would you take a look, or whatever it is, or hey, would you help me? Like I love when people say, hey, can you send me your recipes for like your food? Like your food looks so good. I love food. I'm like, yeah, okay. So in my group, I give free recipes every Thursday. Like here's a meal plan for moms to make your life easier. Cool. Like that's something that I enjoy doing. I don't make money off of it, but it's something that I like to do. Well, now if that's something that fills your cup, you could monetize it. You could do lots of things with that, but it just depends on what are the things that make you happy. What are the things that people ask you for or advice on, and can you connect those two and do something each day, learn from others, or take a class, or take a course, or find somebody that's doing that and interview them, like say, hey, I see that you do this. I would love to learn more about what it is that you do. Could I ask you some questions? Like nobody's going to say no. They're going to be like, yeah, when do you want to talk? Like, right. Like they want to connect. They want to share what they're up to, and they're going to offer you information. And then you can say, ooh, I really don't like that. Like, that's not for me. Just save yourself that time. Or, wow, that's like super me. I need to know more. Where would you, advise me to go next? Oh, talk to this coach, talk to Dominique, talk to Kate, or subscribe to this podcast, right? Subscribe to your podcast.
No, I love it. So many gems. I have to re-listen to this episode, because you're just dropping them left and right. And it's like, I can't even find them anymore. There's so many. So this is great. Like being open-minded. I think that is one of the best skills you can have as an entrepreneur, as a business person, just as a person, being open-minded. And then second, I wanted to ask, in a prior conversation, you were talking about relationships and how it's important to have relationships when you're an entrepreneur. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that and how that can drive your vision forward, like exponentially? Because I think that's the secret. I don't know. I think it's so important, so foundational to building that backup plan or that business or that next idea.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So if I was to tell you about Kate before she became an entrepreneur, Kate was new to town. She had one friend. And that was the person she carpooled to work with. Like, it was not an exciting life for Kate, right? Kate has a new baby, no friends, and most people don't like to talk on the phone. So it was a really lonely time 7 years ago before Zoom was on all of our computers. And so, if I was to live in just that element of that person, that would not be the person I am today. The relationships that I've developed, whether, before I was that person in that new town, there's lots of relationships up until that move that I can connect with. But there's also these new people that are going to come into your life because of your business or because of referrals from other people into your business. And if you are only ever focused on the sale, that relationship is not going to grow. That relationship is not going to flourish. It is not going to get anywhere beyond that initial conversation about a product or service that they may or may not want because you never even asked them. Right. And so if you focus on the person and like, how are they doing? What's new in their life? Like, don't send me the hey girl, hey, right? Send me the message of, hey, I saw that you were doing a podcast. Like, tell me about it. Or, hey, I saw you wrote a book. Like, tell me where to buy it. Or, hey, I saw that you're got neck surgery. Like, how did it go? Like, how are you feeling? I care about people as a person. If I have a service that is of interest to them, it'll come up in the right way or the right time. But I never want someone to feel sold to or that I might talk to them because I want them to buy, right? So focusing on the relationship. If you are relationship focused or heart centered or servant heart, whatever way you want to spin it, your business will continue to grow like well beyond your dreams because it's never been. So that would be my main, like,
I love it. I love it. Servant heart relator. I don't know what you call that person, but just serve, right? Just serve and be real, like be genuine, really ask people how they're doing. And that in and of itself, like if it's the right fit, then it's the right fit. And if it's not, you're still being a great person. I love that. I love that approach. So
I should say there should be a caveat. It's okay if you're not like that all the time. Like, it's okay to lose your heart for a little bit. We all go through it. But then we kind of notice it because our business is not doing as good. And so when you kind of course correct, like that attitude of gratitude, instead of focusing on like, come on, why are you not supporting me? Or why are you not sharing or whatever, instead of focusing on why are people not, instead, okay, how can I add value? How can I serve? Like that shift, like it's okay to kind of go back into that, why not, right? But shift it like the fastest you can possibly shift it. The moment you notice it, like switch it, like snap your fingers, you can change it.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Sorry, I just had to say, because I'm not perfect. And I want to make sure people know, like, it's okay. You do not have to be perfect.
Yeah, it's a good reminder, because I think when you're working for yourself and there's no one asking you, hey, how you doing? You can easily get into that mindset of like, gosh, no one's buying. How come I'm not doing, like, what's going on? But then when you do shift and you go into that mode of like, you know what, I'm just going to serve. I'm going to show up full self, serve as much as I can, and then see what happens. And what I've realized and experienced in my own business is when I do that, I'm not even selling anymore. It's like, it's just selling itself. And that's like, it's so crazy. And I'm like, oh, there's a different way to approach this. And how you were saying, it's relationships, it's trust, it's building that rapport with the people that you serve. So I love that. All right. Next question. Positivity. How do you stay positive when things don't go your way, or when things like there's a challenge, there's an obstacle? What do you do to, like push through?
Okay. Well, I do not stomp my feet. But sometimes I will get a little bit like frustrated at my family, right? Because that's where you'll kind of notice the trigger is like you're kind of a little bit snappier at home, or you're a little bit less like a patient with the kids. Like you're like, oh, like, because you're tense, you're anxious. And so the best thing I can say is like reset, reflect, like, where are you headed? Why are you doing this to begin with? I have been journaling every day, like attitude of gratitude, like what am I grateful for? And it might be that I'm grateful for Zoom and getting to chat with you today, right? Like it doesn't have to be, I'm grateful for coffee. Like my list today is like grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for sleeping in. I'm grateful for, Zoom. I'm grateful for like this person, like whatever, like there could be something so small. But then what are you dreaming about? And I think having that vision really then allows you to say, okay, like maybe today is a tough day. Maybe today is not the great day, right? But I have control over so few things. So what can I do in those so few things that I have control over that are going to move me closer to those dreams, right? Because sitting here and dwelling on it is not going to do anything. It's not going to serve either you, your family, or your business. So how can you move as fast as possible? So if that means you do nothing in your business today except for listen to your podcast, that is a good day, right? Like if it takes you a full 24 hours or 48 hours to get your mind out of a funk, do it, because you're going to have more success if your mindset is in the right place than if you are to stay in the exact same state you are and let it fester and fester and fester. So,
oh, so good. So good. I love it. Push the reset button. We have the reset button in our house, and like, it's right there in the middle of my palm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
good.
And
So
it doesn't
good.
need, like, it doesn't need to be big. It could just be like, just
reset. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Kate, I'm curious, what is your definition of success?
Oh my gosh. Okay, this one's really, really hard because success has changed so many times. Because back in the day, it was, I wanted you to be the boss. By the time I'm 30, I'm going to be the CAO, and I'm going to have my master's, and I'm going to be married. I'm going to have kids. Like that was Kate in her 20s, right? It was like, check, check, check. And then it was, okay, I'll be successful when I hit this rank in my company, or I'll be successful when I'm making this much money. And then I learned over time, because I had hit that rank or earned that money, I was like, on to the next, like what's the next goal, because to me, it wasn't the rank or the money that was filling my cup. It wasn't the checking off the goals that filled my cup. It was being able to sit there and be like, wow, like I just like did something all day. I had a great day, like I just like, I'm like happy every day this week. I haven't yelled at anybody. Like that's pretty successful to me, with food on my table, my kids are clothed, they're happy, we've got money in the bank. Like, finding that joy in the daily actions that like everybody is like happy. Like, I don't know what the best way to put it is, but like, we talked about it too in the past. It's like, happy wife, happy life. Like it's true. It's happy Kate is happier kids, which is a happier marriage, which is a happier business, which means your customers are probably happier because you probably serve them better. It really is contagious, like in a good way. And we want more of that. And so success, I think, is how many people can you inspire to be a little bit happier, to be a little bit, like help them a little bit more, right? Like how? I know, like big hearts, right? But it's true. Like I think success comes from that energy from other people and from yourself.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I hope y'all are taking notes on this like interview, because she is just really, Kate, you're like blowing my mind away. It's so amazing. So where can the audience, where can they find you? Where do you hang out online? What's the best way to connect with you? And where's your book again? Let them, can you remind us?
Yeah. So the book is 22 Women Entrepreneurs and Legacy Building Couples. So it's a collab. There's 22 stories. I'm just one of 22. So like you've got lots of other nuggets in there besides just me. But the MomBoss Mentor, we're a podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, like we're probably wherever your platform. We just launched on Pinterest, like all of the moms, like I don't know, like we want to make sure that everyone, and I say we, but it's really like me and my friend. But we just have fun, like, and that's a story for another day. But yeah, I think it's just about a place of, if you need me, you can find me.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, everyone. That's Kate Moir. Thank you so much, Kate, for being on the show. We look forward to having you on again and listening to your bigger dreams and bigger goals in the future.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, friend.